Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Look at this! I'm going super bright. Yeah, it's the Royal Stuart. I don't very often wear this one because it's really such, wow, you're striding down the street and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, there's wearing a kilt and there's wearing that kilt. Because it's wild and it's enthusiastic and it's vivid and bold. And I love it. And the sun is shining and it's going to look great when I'm out later. So, folks, John Wick Chapter 5. If you've seen John Wick Chapter 4, spoilers ahead, folks. He dies at the end of it. Or so we think. We are presented with his gravestone next to his wife, his loving wife, a loving husband engraved on the two tombstones. After all he's been through, in 4 fantastic, gore-soaked, violence-filled, high-velocity, high-octane action adventures, finally, his body's given up. After being hit by numerous cars, falling from high-rise windows and off the roofs of the Continental, thundering to the deck, getting pummeled by all sorts of bad guys, shot, stabbed, all sorts. Finally, his body went, hey, Keanu, no more. Who do you think I am, Tom Cruise? So yeah, he appeared to die at the end of Chapter 4. And being a massive, massive fan of John Wick, as you guys know, I was happy with that closure. I never believed it for a second, but I was happy if that was it. Before Chapter 4, Keanu Reeves always said, like when asked, how many more of these do you think you can do? He said, as long as I can still fit into the suit and my body can still do the stunts, then I'll carry on. If people still like it, I'll carry on. So, what's happening with Chapter 5? Is there really a Chapter 5? Well, this is the thing, folks. It's in development. But Keanu Reeves, the star, John Wick himself, and creator and director Chad Stahelski have not said what they're doing. They haven't said we're going to do a Chapter 5. But Lionsgate, the studio, the production company, I've got to keep these things going, keep them alive. They've already got the spin-off movie Ballerina coming out next year, and the Continental TV show as well, which will be coming out, I think, only in a couple of months' time, I think. And some of the producers there, the exec producers at Lionsgate and for the John Wick franchise, have hinted that, there could be a secret movie in production or moving into production. A secret movie? What might that be then? And they kind of gave ideas that some of the other characters that we've met in the franchise so far might get their own spin-off. Wow, we're going down into, expanded universe mythology, Star Wars, and all that sort of thing. Let's give even a little bit parter a backstory and then a huge saga to go on. And folks, it becomes the law of diminishing returns. Now, back to the main idea of this, Chapter 5. Well, I do not for 1 second believe he's dead, but I'm happy to go along with that. If they do come out with a Chapter 5, they have promised, this is Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski, they have said, look, if we do come up with one, it's got to be organic and it's got to be credible. Credible. After all the things we've seen him go through, the Baba Yaga, he's come back from the dead numerous times apparently. So, a 5th time wouldn't be a major, event. It's just par for the course. But where would you go with it? You see, the high table has thrown everything it's had at him. What else can they do? Hire a Terminator, bring a Predator down. That's what it would take. But it's going to be more of the same. More chases, more weaponry. What I'd like to see if they do it again is a bit more of the actual unarmed combat, a bit more with his actual martial arts skills, a bit more of that, a bit more of the pugilistic stuff taking place. There's been plenty of it. It's gun fu, it's knife fu, it's Chapter 3 with the fight in the air, with the knives and the blades and the axes. Oh my God! Now that, still to me, that's one of the greatest moments in the John Wick franchise. But where do you go with it? And what would it be? His motives to take down the High Table alongside Ian McShane? Would that be the idea? And the Bowery King? Would that be the plan? They've done enough damage as it is. So if it would have to be something like literally a revolution. In this John Wick universe, we know that almost everybody that exists is an assassin in some capacity. They're all affiliated to some different family or different wing of the High Table, and they can all be called upon at some point. You know, when there's a mark on someone's head and all that, like. But so would it be to overthrow this High Table hierarchy and try to bring back a normal world of peace and harmony? Somehow I doubt it. But because there's too many shades of Neo and the Matrix there, isn't there? You know, a sort of revolution. But if Chapter 5 does get made, and to be honest, I think I'd be surprised if it didn't get made. I will be there day one, and I will be looking forward to it massively. Because I know with Chad Stahelski and Keanu Reeves there, even that they're getting older now, and it takes longer to recover, as they've both admitted, it takes longer to recover, and these films take a long time to get made, and they've got to go through hell and back to get it done. And then they need a well-deserved rest at the end of it. And Keanu Reeves has got other things lined up, other action aplenty sort of sagas as well. So, you know, it's not like he's really sitting back and giving his body time to recover. He's going straight into it again. But what we do know is that Stahelski and Reeves are spending, I think, September in Japan, as you do, to drink to drink whiskey. And Japanese whiskey is fantastic. The Nikka distillery is awesome. And they win the whiskey awards every year, and have done since about 2015. So that tells you just how good their whiskey really is. He says reaching for his cup of tea, because still in the Kilt Mansion we have no whiskey. We were out and about yesterday, but we did neglect to come back with any new alcohol rations. God damn it. But cheers you all anyway. So they said, this is Reeves and Stahelski, we're going to Japan, we're going to spend a month or two there, and we're going to rest, and we're going to drink whiskey, and we're going to have ideas. And if they work, if we think we can make it a doable sort of project, then we'll let you know, and we'll move ahead with it. But don't be fooled by this in development. That means nothing. Nothing at all. You can be highly involved in development by even scouting locations, even test screening people, but then the script itself hasn't actually been written. It hasn't actually been greenlit properly by any director or producer or star. So this means absolutely nothing. It still may not happen. So don't be, oh yeah, John Wick Chapter 5, it's getting done. I would put money on it, actually, it would be getting done, but it's not determined yet, it's not confirmed, and you won't know that until the end of September, maybe even later. Let's give these two guys a chance to get their heads together and see, can we knock another one out? What haven't they done? Apart from the Terminator and Predator, you know, going against Arnie or Sly or something like that. Because you're going to have to bring some other big star in, aren't you? A bit like Expendables, you know. Well, they've already gone against a pseudo Steven Seagal with Scott Adkins in the big fat suit. That sequence is to die for. You want to kill him? You want to kill him? I want to kill him. So, Mr. Wick, what do you want? I'm gonna kill you. Well, it appears we have a genuine conundrum. A big dilemma. Oh God, that sequence, Scott Adkins owns it completely. So it's a fight and move in that big fat suit and be comical, very, very comical, ogreish, and with his teeth and that, he looks just like Peter Kay. I've said it a million times. He looks just like British comedian Peter Kay with his little brush forward hairdo and that, the shape of his face and the little twinkle in his eye, the sort of cherubic, you know, impish quality that he's got. and then waddling away through the dance crowd, getting shot in the ass, you know. Shot me in the ass! Spine hund! But still being able to fight and kick the shit out of Keanu Reeves for a little bit before taking a hell of a dive and then getting your teeth smashed out. Oh, God almighty. But anyway, so you already had a surrogate Steven Seagal who doesn't need a fat suit, by the way. Putin-loving twat that he is. Anyway, but what environments have we not seen John Wick in? It's been predominantly urban, which has been great, been wonderful. The desert, we've seen him in the desert. You haven't seen him airborne. You haven't seen him on a plane. You haven't seen him, you've seen him on a train, I'll be honest, but not like one of them big, hyper-long bullet train things. You haven't seen him at sea. You haven't seen him in the forest or the jungle. Or on a mountain. You could take that character and put him anywhere, really, if he's got to take out a team of assassins who are after him. You know, you could put him in any environment. But it has been mostly successful in the urban environment, where, you know, it's just cars and neon, nightclubs, you know, lots of nightclubs. See, oh, Mr. Wick can have a good time. And he likes a bevy as well. The aforementioned whiskey, the Baba Yaga. Cheers, folks. Cheers, Keanu. Cheers, Chad. And Chad, what's happened to Highlander? Are you still doing Highlander? The reboot of Highlander? Are you doing it? Please. I don't know if you eagle-eyed people can actually spot that somewhere just above Snake Plissken's head there is a canvas to the original Highlander over there, over yonder. I never took a swig then, did I? Yeah, lovely. Tea that's going cold. Yum, yum. But you've got Ballerina coming out. And what a lineup in that. You've got Keanu Reeves is in it. Ian McShane is in it. Lance Reddick, the late great Lance Reddick, is in it. Norman Reedus is in it. Gabriel Byrne is in it. Anna de Armas, of course, she is the ballerina of the title. And Angelica Houston. Gabriel Byrne and Angelica Houston again. I mean, she's already been in it a couple of times, like. But has Gabriel Byrne and Angelica Houston ever worked together before? Oh, ooh, do you know what? I reckon they probably have, and it should be a film that I go, God, yes, of course they did, because they are great. They're towering greats, especially Gabriel Byrne. What a wonderful, wonderful actor he is. And the franchise has brought some great people in. You've had Willem Dafoe. You had Clancy Brown, Highlander. The Kurgan was in it last time around. Mark Dacascos. Who actually is over there. If you look on that canvas over there, there's Mark Dacascos playing Manny in the awesome Brother of the Wolf. And Scott Adkins, of course. And who is it? He's got a gold tooth, and he's only got one name. He's a rapper, and he had the big fight with Reeves on the train in chapter 2. And yet you've had Halle Berry as well. There's so many. I know, great. So you can always welcome more people in. You know. So even though they're action, adventure, urban drama type things, just stunt after stunt and gunplay and fisticuffs, you're still attracting some quite big names who want to be involved in it. So that shows the level of class that these films are at. And John Wick Chapter 4, I love Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. I love all of them. I really, really do get a massive kick out of Chapter 3. But Chapter 4 really just, it amps up everything completely and is successful at every level. And the critics love it too. That's the thing. Not only do the fans, slavishly lap all this stuff up, but the critics actually like it too. So it's been really successful. Which is why these things just don't end. And the whole concept of the Continental and the high table, I said before about these expanding universes. Well, one thing I don't really agree with is all the characters that you've seen, having to give them a backstory, like Mr. Nobody, the tracker from Chapter 4, because I know they're touting him as well. But then it becomes like the Star Wars mythos, where you've got every character you've seen in the original Legacy trilogy. You've got to bring them and tell them their backstories and and then every little sideline character gets their story. So just creating something completely new. So it just in the end it becomes, oh God, here we go. I never even cared about you, but now you're gonna get a fucking 10 episode, 3 seasons of your shite. When all you want from a John Wick movie or something in the John Wick universe, the Wickiverse, is John Wick. That's what you want. But I do agree that with the hierarchy of the high table and this crazy world of the Continental, then there is scope for a lot more expansion and exploration. But if you're getting the Continental as a prequel, obviously, to how they got the New York Continental off the ground in the first place, and all their stories, I just want more. I want more John Wick. I've talked myself into it. Don't care. More John Wick. More John Wick. See, we can get that. Get the mantra going. More John Wick. More John Wick. And you can have like a side chorus going, the Baba Yaga. The Baba Yaga. More John Wick. The Baba Yaga. More John Wick. The Baba Yaga. See, we can make this. Spread it around the world. By the time this video goes on, I bet they'll have announced, oh, we are doing John Wick Chapter 5. And Keanu's back! Which will make this video completely null and void, redundant. Anyway, folks, who do you want to see him go up against? What can the high table do? Where can they go that you haven't been before? He's been in cars, on motorbikes, on horses. Trains. What else has he been on? Bang me on something. Amphetamines and PCP. Yeah. But yeah, I want to see him on a plane. I want to see him. Have him on a boat, a big luxury yacht or a liner. Have him on something like that. Have him at sea. I don't know if you heard that there. That was there's some birds fighting at the back. We always get this on our big new conservatory roof. The birds seem to love it. They crash land on it. They do massive takeoffs from it. They make love on it, but they also fight like bastards as well over some little worm. One of them's got a worm, another one comes flying in, and it ends up being John Wick, the feathered John Wick. God, it's happening. Chapter 5's taking place outside right now. Anyway, folks, I better go and adjudicate what's going on out there, because no business is to be conducted in the Kilt Mansion or any of its roofs. So folks, please, in the meantime, as ever, wickified in between time, please keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all. More John Wick, the Baba Yaga, more John Wick, the Baba Yaga, more John Wick. What a conundrum!